Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Rockman Power Hour, a podcast where we talk to the most interesting people in the world of pop culture, musicians, actors, all kinds of folks. And right here, right now, we are going to talk to an absolute legend in Canadian rock and a trailblazer for female artists everywhere. Her name is Sass Jordan, and she's going to be joining us this week on the Rockman Power Hour. So, Ryan, welcome back.
Yeah.
You've been living in your fridge. I find it very strange.
Yeah, it's interesting that I'm sweating so much considering I'm supposed to be pretending I'm living in a fridge. But, the reason why I'm sweating today is anticipation of the greatness of Sass Jordan being on our show. Because when I was a very young lad, I went to like one of those Molson beer shows, and Chuck Berry was playing.
Yep.
And I believe, I can't remember who else, but I know that Sass Jordan was on the lineup.
Yeah.
And she was one of the first female rock stars I ever saw live, and she actually absolutely kicked ass.
Yeah, she's pretty incredible, man. And it was just nice to chat with her. I kind of felt like after, I just want to let people know, this was recorded a while back. We had an opportunity to talk to Sass, and I knew we might not be putting it up right away, but I wanted to grab the opportunity because they said, here, 20 minutes of Sass Jordan. Do you want it today? I was like, yes. So at the time, I was still working at Chom. So in this interview, I'm talking a lot about radio and a lot about her history, which is, nothing can be taken away from the fact that Chom was a huge supporter of Sass Jordan early on, and one of the reasons why I discovered her for the first time. So, but I just want to let people know if they're for some reason they jump into this and they hear me talking about the station and my show and all that, like, no, I'm not back.
It will also know who skips the intros this way. This is actually a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. So we're really excited to have Sass Jordan on the show this week. But we want to let you know that the lights would not be on without the help of our friends over at Heartbeat Hot Sauce. Ryan is there. Ryan, you literally look like
so many lights are on right now, and I'm sweating profusely. But thank you, Heartbeat, for providing these lights. It's almost as hot as the sauce behind me.
Thanks to them for helping us keep the lights on here. I see in your fridge, you've got this hot sauce in the corner, and I love this one. This is the Heartbeat Hot Sauce, the Ryan Ellis NASCAR hot sauce, and
I like it when my name is on things, even if it's not my real name. I'm just living through it.
I just realized something. I had no idea. This is numbered. This hot sauce is numbered. Look at that. Can you see that? It's fancy. 339 of 1,000.
Nice.
That's nuts. So I didn't know. I didn't. Okay, so I would tell you to reach behind your fridge and grab that bottle out of there, but then no, the other side.
Okay.
That one right there. There you go. It's right there. Yeah, just grab that out and tell me what number yours is. But I didn't realize this was numbered. So this is obviously very limited. So all that to say, Heartbeat Hot Sauce are great. So go check them out at heartbeathotsauce.com. Use our promo code Rockman20, which is right down there. And that'll get you 20% off your entire order. And that code never expires. So make sure you go give them some love. If you haven't tried Heartbeat yet, you're missing out. It goes wonderful on everything. We use this stuff, like we literally use this stuff on so many things. It's staple in the morning for me. I have, I like eating my eggs in the morning. I put it on my eggs. We put it on our veggie burgers. We put it on all kinds of stuff. And it's wonderful. It's really, really wonderful. So check out Heartbeat Hot Sauce.
In our house, we kind of use Heartbeat Hot Sauce, especially the dill pickle flavor, the same way that Dad uses Windex in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. We just put it in everything. We use it to heal our wounds, but also it's the most blendable hot sauce to make anything taste so unique and so great. So everybody out there, if you could buy a full box of dill pickle, I highly recommend it.
Yeah,
I've had people make me scorch the city sometimes to find them some dill pickle and stuff. But they wouldn't have to do that if they ordered it and used our promo code Rockman20.
Yeah, they would just get it delivered right to their door. So, so go check out heartbeathotsauce.com. Great stuff. And we absolutely love them. They're the heartbeat of the Rockman Power Hour, and we appreciate them. Also, a big shout out to Studio House Designs, always keeping us looking fresh. I wore this one today, my Clockwork Orange shirt, which I really, really like. I'll move my microphone out of the way. So check it out. I love this shirt. And,
Sexy.
and I went out for lunch with a buddy of mine. And while we were waiting to get our table, someone commented and goes, "Oh, that's a great shirt. I saw that movie when it first came out." And I was like, "Yeah, I remember seeing it." They're like, "There's no way you saw this movie when it first came out because it came out in 1971." And I'm like, "No, I saw it later and I rented it, but I was very young. I remember renting it from the video store and it was like, it had already become a classic." And this lady was older than me and she was like, "I saw it when it first came out." She goes, "It scarred me." And I was like, that whole scene when he's dancing with his, I was like, yeah, I get it. I get it. It's a terrifying film. But so all that to say, when Studio House Designs do images and make shirts of films, that they're usually films that are pretty iconic, pretty legendary, and sometimes have a really, really big cult following, like your Casper shirt. I love that.
Yeah, Casper shirt. Christina Ricci represent. Not exactly sure what week this is coming out. So she's either about to be at Comic Con or was just at Comic Con.
Yeah.
But regardless, wow.
Yeah, Christina Ricci, super cool. So check out studiohousedesigns.com. You can find their stuff online at that website, and they're constantly doing great, great stuff. And we love to support them here at the Rockman Power Hour. So Ryan, Sass Jordan, we got a chance to sit with Sass Jordan to chat with her. New live album is coming out, and this is a taping of a live recording of a show that she did in New York City years ago, I believe in the 90s. So that was one of the reasons why we had access to her today. But I'm so excited to bring this conversation to everyone. She is literally a firecracker, so much energy, so much positive energy. And this woman's done everything in rock and roll. I mean, been there, done it, and she seems to be in a really good place, like really positive. And it was just an absolute joy to chat with her. So without any further ado, here is our chat with the legendary Sass Jordan.
Fantastic, Tia. This is the last one for today. Woo!
Oh, nice. Oh, so what time did you start at?
11, but it's day 3.
Right. Okay. So you're done.
Day 3,
Okay.
so I'm a little late. And you know what's really weird, Jason?
Yeah.
There's no chicks. Not
Yeah.
one single girl.
Really, eh?
I've done an interview with. It's bizarre.
That's crazy. Well, I'm a feminist, so you're pretty much like you're right there. And I come from a long line of feminists, so
And I'm a dude, so
there you go. We're good. my pronouns are alcoholic and addict, but
there we go.
That's a whole other ball game. But I'm sober. But listen, thank you so much for taking the time to chat today. It's funny because this is for my podcast, but I do work at Show'em. I've been at Show'em for 13 years.
wow.
And I mean, growing up in Montreal, growing up listening to rock radio, you're a voice that's been with me as long as I can remember. So it's really, really nice to be able to finally meet you and to be able to chat because I grew up on your music and I've always had such a high regard for you, not only as an artist, but as a person, because everybody that I would talk to in the industry, from Too Tall, from Terry DeMonte, everybody say the same thing. Sass is amazing.
Wow.
So you have a very good reputation. I'm sure you're
That's
aware.
amazing.
But I'm sure you're aware of that, right?
No.
You're not?
No. Yeah. I mean, I like. I don't. You know what? You don't. Do you think? I don't think about stuff like that. In other words, like I don't walk around going, everybody thinks I'm so fabulous.
No, but you do. But you have a great. But you do. Some people will have. You're very highly regarded.
I know you mean like there's people that everybody goes, what a C-U-N-T.
I've never heard that about you.
Because I myself have said that about other people.
Right. But it's just really nice to chat with you. It's nice that that this work's being celebrated because like I've seen you before and you really are a live performer. I mean, and the fact that that you have a live recording and this is something that's being promoted is great because you have to see Sass Jordan live. I
gotta see her too. Wonder what she's like. I don't know because I never see it. I'm always, but on the other hand, I mean, like you do see videos and stuff like that, but it's not the same. And oh my God, do not watch yourself on video.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
It's the pips, as my daughter used to say. It's the pips. It sucks. And all you can do is go like, oh, why did I move? Like, oh dear
Right.
God, why did I wear that?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Why didn't somebody tell me? Nobody
um
loves me.
do you at the point where you're at now, you talk about having to look back on things and say, oh, maybe there was a fashion trend that was going on, but in all, the body of work in itself, are you pretty proud of it?
You know what? Again, don't think about it. I just never, I don't think some of it's good,
Yeah,
some of it's not. But I mean, after you've been doing it that long, I mean, wouldn't it be amazing if it was all amazing? It'd be
yeah,
amazing if it was all amazing. And it just isn't. Because life's not amazing all the time either, is it? In retrospect, it is. You go, well, thank God that happened, even though it was sucking when it happened.
sure, sure.
But there's always a silver lining, right?
And I think people tend to look back. I mean, when you're going through, especially as an artist, I mean, I've been a musician before. I know the feeling of when you're going through something, if you were able to just be able to go back in time and have your future self look back and you go, enjoy this because this is going to pass. And you're going to realize that you should have probably really enjoyed it while it was going on. But I think a lot of the times with artists, you're so focused, especially when you're starting out or struggling, or you're right in the grind, you're so focused on the forward motion that you don't have a time to, don't have that time to sit and really smell the roses and enjoy what's happening. If there is success, or if you're playing to packed audiences, there's always oh, my monitors didn't work that day, or my bass player was sick, or instead of just being, hey, this is really good. Do you find when you tend to look back on those things now, it's more the fun part that you remember, less than when the van broke down, or all that other stuff that tends to
Yeah,
cloud the.
absolutely. Like everything you just said is exactly right. I find that's like life in general, not just, as an artist. But the thing is usually all the crappy things, when you look back on them, they're usually kind of funny.
Yeah,
So they morph from the hell of all time into like, God, remember that time? Like,
right.
God, man, we were dying. Anyways, nothing good lasts forever. Nothing bad lasts forever. It's fantastic. It's that, and things are very different now because I'm constantly aware of that. So if it's some shit that's going on right now, I'm like, it's gonna pass. If it's
Yeah,
something great, it's gonna pass. Yes, enjoy it right now. And the thing with being an artist and like being in the middle, when you're at your most successful or most popular, whatever you want to say, as an artist, is when you have the very least time
yeah. To
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 yourself
yeah,
to actually digest and process everything that's going on. It's just things are coming at you like a million miles an hour from every direction. And you're like, you're not in a calm in the center of the storm. You're not in the eye of the storm. No, you are the goddamn storm. It's just like
yeah,
a cyclone. And it's really not that fun because the pressure is so intense,
yeah,
and the more popular, the better you're doing, or the more whatever, popular, I guess. I can't think of another word right now. That you are in that moment, the more things are demanded
yeah,
of your time, your energy, your whatever, and the more you're surrounded by sycophants or people that are not really there because they like you. Just what can I get out of this? You know what I
yeah.
mean? At this point, I have a much better radar
Of
and a
course.
much better ability to create and maintain boundaries. Like I
Yeah.
know how far I can go before I'm
Yep.
like ooched, and I know what I'm going to allow. So I'm completely different now. I'm so much better equipped now, but I had to
Sure.
go through it. I went through the whole thing, and also in this day and age, I will not allow something to be so intense that I can't have any fun in it
Yeah.
anymore.
Right. Right.
Never do that. That's not my plan.
Yeah.
And so, it's so much better to be me
Yeah.
now.
I love it. I
It's
love it.
way more fun now. Oh my goodness.
Um,
Yeah.
can you tell me a bit about this live record?
Yeah, but can you ask like specific questions? Because I
Sure.
don't
No,
know.
no, no, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, the actual show that it's taken from.
Yeah,
Do you remember that show?
vague. A
Okay.
v
Okay. Is there a reason why that particular
Well, it's 30 goddamn years ago, there's that,
Yeah,
there's
no,
30
no, but I
years
mean,
ago.
but when you were because I imagine you must have a lot of recordings in a vault somewhere. You must have a lot of stuff that no, okay. So this was one of the times where a live recording was set. Okay, so that's the reason.
Yeah, well, it wasn't somebody said something in an interview the other day, and I think they nailed it because I
Okay.
didn't remember until they said it. I was like, "Oh my god, that makes so much sense." They said, "So this must have been like an afternoon show, right?" And I was thinking, I do remember it being daylight. It was pouring rain.
Yeah.
It's daylight. And they go, and because it's only like 9 songs, it must be like a radio show or something. And I'm like, oh my God. Yes, and that would explain why the audio is so good.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of sounding super bootleg or what have you, oh my goodness, it was like, it must have been a radio show. So, that was really interesting when there was somebody interviewing me. I was like, thanks,
Had all the answers.
thank you.
Yeah.
Who knew? But that's absolutely what it must have been. Anyways, but as far as the actual show, I don't remember. I don't
No.
remember it. I do remember an impression of it just being perhaps a little bit more powerful than usual, simply because of the rain. The
Right.
rain like the people who braved the rain and sat through it to see these 9 songs or to experience these 9 songs were, in my opinion, warriors. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
They were like, because if it had been me, I'd have been like, oh, there's a
I'm
mouse,
out of here. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
my
Exactly.
hair, my hair. I don't
It,
want fucking rain hair.
well, and it's crazy when you think outdoor shows. I mean, outdoor shows can be some of the best shows because it's just magic. I mean, you get the sky and like so many
Oh,
things can be happening.
totally.
But there's the other side of it where weather can just, I mean, it could just make something awful.
Bugs.
Right. Bugs. Oh yeah.
Try breathing a couple of bugs when you got to sing them.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Oh
And at
yeah.
night,
Yeah.
with the lights, it
Yeah.
attracts the
All the
bugs,
insects.
and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that's hard. I
Yeah.
don't want to have like a big mosquito net around. It's a new look. It's a new look.
Right. So this has been released digitally. There's vinyl coming. Obviously you started recording and putting out records when records were still a thing, when records were records. So you've seen kind of vinyl go away, vinyl come back. Are you one of these people that maintained a vinyl collection throughout your life? No? Are you someone that's gotten
Um,
back? Okay.
it was, I think, the first record, which was called Tell Somebody, it was right at the end of vinyl. Like
Right.
they weren't even necessarily going to make it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? They went,
Right.
probably should. And I'm really glad they did. It was so cool. It was right at the end of, because you remember when they had I don't know if you remember this because you're not as old as me, but they had flats,
Oh
with
yeah.
the cover, and that would be like the display in the record
Yeah.
store
Yeah.
when they had record stores.
Yeah.
I mean, like as a big thing,
Yeah, of course.
No, I don't have a vinyl collection because I'm actually more of a book person.
Okay.
And in this day and age, music is accessible with
Yeah. I mean,
this
it's right on
little
your,
number right here
exactly.
and
Exactly.
a Sonos player,
Yeah.
and it's so much easier for me to do that than
Mhm.
to go and, get out the record player and put it on, because it's a different world. We live in a different world now. It's
Yeah.
so much faster,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and I think it's a brilliant thing, but I don't have the time in my life at this point for that kind of thing. I'm
Right.
so involved with music anyway, like playing it live or, recording it myself, so it's not, I don't need to do that. Now, I think it's great if somebody's, what do you call a sonophile or an audiophile or
Yeah,
somebody who's
audiophile, sure.
really into that stuff. I mean, that's their hobby. I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah,
My hobbies were reading.
yeah. So you have a big book collection?
I sure do.
Are you somebody
My
that
Kindle.
yeah, well, I was gonna say, so do you just Kindle or do you still enjoy physical books?
I mostly Kindle because when I have it on Kindle,
Yeah,
I can take a library of 3,000 books
sure.
anywhere I
Anywhere.
want.
Yeah, yeah. And
I mean,
and
come on, you know what I mean? And it frees up a little space, but I still love books. Of course I love books,
yeah,
and there's
yeah.
certain kinds of books that are not as um that don't lend themselves as well to the Kindle format. For example, like Cards of Your Destiny, where you have to keep moving back and forth between, so this is the card. Okay, you want to see what year it's in. So now you want to see what that means here and there. It's much easier to have the hard copy.
Oh yeah, and there's something about there is something about stuff that's tactile.
Tactile.
And I think
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why, I've got two kids. I've got a 19-year-old boy and a 16-year-old girl, and my daughter
What?
has the best. Yeah, yeah, she has the best taste in music. I mean, what's great is we get to turn each other on to music. So she loves the ritual of the vinyl and being able to put it on because
Yeah.
her generation, the
Didn't
majority of
have
the kids she hangs, they don't know anything about that. So they know records because of me. So
Yeah.
there's still stuff like she's obsessed with Phoebe Bridgers. She's a newer artist, and she has this band called Boy Genius. There's three singers that got
I think
together.
I think I think I know who you're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I do. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
and
familiar.
and it's fun to be able to surprise her with the record and have her get so excited. And
Oh, yeah.
it's nice to see kids because for me, I grew up on vinyl, and then I remember
Me too.
the
Me
first
too.
CDs that I bought. I remember what they were. I remember it was the first five. It was the Five Police albums. They came out and they were $35 each, and they were in these big long boxes. They had the CDs and then they
Yeah.
had the long
I
cardboard.
remember that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
and I remember it was like $150 for the 5 CDs, and it was just. I remember, and that was when I said, "Wow, these little shiny things are so much cooler than records." And then of course we went into MP3s, and then having everything in here, and it's great, but I
Nah.
miss it. There's something about the record.
Yeah,
So I think the world we live in now, where you are able to put out this digitally, and then people are able to get the vinyl, have the best of both worlds. It's a nice marriage of the two.
I agree. But the thing is like I remember when CDs came out too, and I was like,
Yeah,
this just it doesn't,
yeah, yeah. And those
I
little
can't see the picture properly.
and
They
the
can't read
tabs would
all the
break.
stuff. Yeah, it was just and I
Yeah,
didn't love the CD thing at
I,
all. I was like
me,
bummed out because I mean, the artwork, and then it was just so much cooler. Vinyl's just, it is way cooler if
oh
you're
yeah,
into that,
sure. No, no, definitely, definitely.
I,
But
I
books are
completely,
cool too, though.
yeah, yeah.
You collaborated a lot in your career with a lot of artists. It seems like there was a time when if someone needed a cool voice on a record, they would call you. What were some of your favorite collaborations that you did with other artists?
Well, Joe Cocker.
Yeah, how was
Joe
that?
Cocker for sure.
I mean,
Well, he wasn't there. There's
oh,
that.
okay, yeah, yeah,
But it was his voice, and I was singing with his voice. So that was like an amazing experience because it taught, I can't even tell you how much I learned about phrasing, timing, phrasing,
yeah.
that in that afternoon that I was singing with his voice. It was insane. Who else? I mean, I can't think of anybody. Who else did I collaborate with that's like amazing or interesting that I can think of? No, I can't think of anybody.
You collaborated with the Box, right?
No, I was a
You-
backup singer.
Okay, but you worked with Jean-Marc,
I worked with them, yeah, but
right?
I worked for them.
Right.
It
How was that?
was amazing. I
Yeah,
loved the Box. They were
me too.
great. And Jean-Marc is like one of my dear friends. I mean, we don't talk much because we're just not, our worlds aren't colliding right now.
Yeah,
But so and Jean-Pierre and well, those are the two I'm most in touch with, Jean-Marc and
yeah,
Jean-Pierre. But they were phenomenal. They're really my real, them and my ancient old boyfriend Francois, they were the guys, the people,
mhm.
and all the gals, they were all the people that I learned how to speak French
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
because I couldn't stand being around people who were having all this fun and talking, and they'd have to translate for me, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
ah, I'm learning this goddamn language. It's the last thing I do. So I did it.
It's great to see. I know Jean-Marc pretty well. I've been to so many box shows. It's not even funny, and he really holds you in high regard. When we
Same with
chatted.
me. We
Yeah,
love it. I love that guy. He's brilliant. What a great, great man. Great songs.
yeah,
Amazing.
and that's what I mean. Like your voice has always been there. Whether it was a backup, whether it was a collab, and then on your own. It's just fun to see that you're still doing it. Uh, Tell me a bit about where you're at now in terms of creating music, touring. Is there what's been going on lately?
So my thing is, I decided the other day I'm not going to stop till I drop.
Right.
Why would I?
Why would you?
Like
Exactly.
this retirement thing, how boring.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do all day long? I love to do all kinds of things, not just music.
Right.
And I'll continue to do all the things I love and music because I love music and it's part of my soul and I can still sing
Yeah.
practically better now than I could before. So I will continue to write, to record, to do shows live when I can, when it's the right time and the right place and the right people.
Right.
I just don't see it ending. I mean, it's not particularly exciting maybe for people. I want to continue to do collaborations with people that I admire, that I think are amazing. I'm like, really, that would be phenomenal. And continuing my healing stuff, the stuff that I'm doing with something called the Lilo Haya Project, which is a collaboration between myself and my indigenous friend. He's Woodland Cree. His name is Gerald Auger.
Okay.
I do like live conversations about how to navigate the new terrain that we all find ourselves in this wild, wacky, insane hologram that we're living in.
Yeah. No, it's
So
true.
that, and there's breath work in there.
Yeah.
There's sound healing. There's gonna be what we call conscious concerts. Where the intention and the vibe, it's all about healing, which music is anyway,
Sure.
naturally.
No, of course.
Assuming you have the intention to do that behind it. But anyways, it's just all kinds of exciting, amazing things going on, for me. I
It
just
sounds
love
like it. And it sounds like it. And I love but I love that positivity, and what you said about music being something that heals. Music is really powerful, as you know. I mean, and
it's vibration. It's
100%. And when you hear something and it makes you cry or it makes you laugh or it makes you it draws an emotion out of you. Exactly. So the idea that music heals, I mean, it's so
obvious.
yeah, but it's something I wish more people, when you see the studies they do with people that have memory loss or that have Alzheimer's,
Alzheimer's.
music brings them back. And I've always said that, like, music and smells will bring me right back to a moment. If I smell um, body shop body shop vanilla, it'll remind me of a girlfriend that I had. My wife's new, but it will immediately. That smell will be like, it'll take me right back. If I hear, you talked about Joe Cocker, and just the thought of Joe Cocker. I remember one of the things I got from my dad before he passed away was his Mad Dogs and Englishmen record, which is in there somewhere. Like those things, not only hearing the music, but just hearing the titles, or it just brings you back. So it's really cool that you're looking at that as a healing thing. And I think the thing with modern medicine, and a lot of times we don't think of the obvious, the things that we have built within us that can cope with what we need to cope with. Like our bodies have these things, and there's a reason why we have these responses to it. So when I hear people working in that field, like, we're very powerful beings, and we have a lot of energy in here that we can share. So when you hear somebody that wants to tap into that, like, I agree with that wholeheartedly. So I'm glad that you're looking into that space. That's great.
That's exactly what it's all about. It's well, the last record that I made, which is called Bitches Blues, which is like a blues record, but recorded the sound, the frequency of gold and the frequency of silver, and we mixed it in to the record. So
Oh,
your
wow.
ear is not going to audibly hear it, but your field is going to pick it up. Now, gold and silver have been used in folk medicine, in traditional folk type medicine, not allopathic medicine,
Yeah,
for forever, and in rituals, and like, I say the word too much. I gotta
it's
stop.
okay.
Anyway,
I just did an interview in French, and I realized after listening to the
oh my
hour-long interview that I said "sais-tu" probably 1,500 times.
1,000 times, yeah,
Yeah, it
right.
was awful.
You know, Anyways, so the fact is that these frequencies can affect you in a positive way, in a healing way, um, if you need them. But if you don't need them, your field just simply will brush it off. You won't get
Right.
it. So that's actually in the record itself. So when you
That's so
listen to that
cool.
record, you're receiving gold and silver frequency.
That's great. That's really
And
neat.
it may or may not, do anything for you, which is just, and I want to explore more of that kind of thing. Healing, our medicine, our modern medicine, allopathic medicine, just ignore it. Doesn't it treats the being
Mhm.
as parts,
Yeah.
but we're a whole.
Yeah. No, for
It's
sure.
really, really good if you're in a horrible car wreck and you slash up your body and break every bone. That's what allopathic medicine is excellent at, bringing you back from, like, sticking you back together,
Mhm,
Humpty
mhm.
Dumpty, in the moment. After that, with your drugs and your this and you get rid of it. It's not, there's other ways of doing things that are far more helpful to
Yeah, and
the
I think, a lot of the times people ignore the fact that, diet is important, like what we put in our bodies as fuel, what we consume with, what our senses consume, like all that has a play. But I think it's really cool that you're working in that space because I can understand how music is important, but that's so much more important in a way,
It is,
you
and
know?
it always has been. I've
Yeah.
always said that because I've heard old interviews, like, from 30, 40 years ago,
You were still
and
talking.
people will say, the interview would say, "If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing? If you weren't singing or, doing music, what would you?" Always would say, "I'd be, a healer. I'd be in medicine somehow. I'd be doing
Sure.
some." I can't bel It's never changed.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think when you know who you are and you're comfortable with that and you're able to stick with that,
So cool.
it's a gift to be able to know what you want to do and know where you're comfortable from an early age. It's really, really special.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got to ask you, you came up in a time where rock and roll was a male dominated field. And a lot of times people love to pigeonhole artists as like, the strong female artists. But for you, firstly, who influenced you? And secondly, who has come to you and said that you've influenced them?
Yeah. Well, the ones that influenced me were all men.
Right.
So I mean, I could give you a list, but it's only ever going to be partial because there's so many, and it wasn't all musically. I mean, I adored David Bowie,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't say that I'm musically influenced by, although he was a bit of a chameleon. But I mean, he wasn't really he definitely wasn't a roots rock blues type artist at all, which is exactly, that's what I'm strongest at. So
Yeah.
that wasn't his shtick at all, but he himself, his energy was very influential to me. But singers and stuff like that, I mean, the list is endless, you know? So, and as far as who I've influenced, it's so bizarre to me that I'm like, I can't believe that happens. But I understand because how many female singers were there
Mm.
that did this kind of thing in those days, and still there's not a whole hell of a lot. I don't think, I don't, there's that word again. However, I don't spend much time looking for it either.
But
And
have you? I'm sure you've had artists that have come up to you and said, you're a big influence on me.
it's more the road crew.
Yeah. Um,
Dude,
I love what I loved about, I'm a big 90s guy. And what I loved about the 90s was I felt that it was a special time for female artists, that there was this almost this awakening that happened where we've got, so many great artists like Tori Amos, like Lisa Loeb, like,
oh yeah,
there's a lot of bands like female fronted bands like Elastica, Republica, um, obviously Alanis, of course.
yeah,
There was a
yeah.
lot of Fiona Apple. Like there was a lot of really, really great singer songwriter, kind of almost bluesy rock singers that came out of the 90s that you
Yeah,
have to it was a special time. So I'm one of these people that kind of doesn't really matter what the gender is. You're influenced because of the energy, of whatever
I
comes off of
agree.
that
Yeah,
person.
I
So,
totally.
and that's the thing, and that's why when I brought that question up, I kind of wanted to tread lightly because I don't look at you as a female singer. I just look at you as a rad singer, a rad musician. Like you're just a rad human that sang, you know?
Yeah.
So, but, you know, of course people want to say, well, you know, she was an influential female Canadian rocker, which you
I'm
were.
not, I'm not offended at all.
Right.
I don't know who I influenced though. I don't really know that. People probably have said that to me, but not necessarily people that anyone's heard of.
Right. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
so yeah. So
What are you listening to now that that's out there that's new that you're really enjoying? Is there anything? And it's okay if you say nothing because I get a lot of people that.
there is.
Okay, tell
But
me, tell me.
I'm hesitant to tell you. Oh my
No,
God.
please don't. Don't
Well,
be
funny.
hesitant. Yeah.
Well, I just read this too. So now I've got an actual name for what it is.
Okay.
So apparently in the early 1900s, there was this composer by the name of Eric Satie.
Okay.
If you heard it, you would instantly know because it's so popular to this day. You know, I love it. I love that music. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't think of the name of it. Gymnopédie. That's what it is. Anyways, insane and fantastic stuff. And he said what he was really trying to do with this music was have this sort of ambient music that didn't really make you listen. You know, it wasn't so complex that you had to go like, oh, and follow it with your ear, which is what happens when somebody's singing, as far as I'm concerned. It's
Right.
seconds to start singing, I'm like,
You're focused. Yeah.
I gotta hear it. You know,
Yeah.
like what's the lyric? What's their tone? How's their phrasing? You know, I'm just curious to hear that. So it irritates me to listen to music with singing
I
happening.
get it. I get it. I get it. No, I get
So
it.
anyways, back to Eric Satie. So what Eric, he created this genre that he called furniture music. Oh my God. Which then sort of morphed into what we would call elevator music in the
Sure.
the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there was elevator music, and now the name is like lo-fi,
Yeah.
beat,
Lo-fi or
chill
like
hop.
lounge. Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Sure.
what I mean? And also, or you know, what do you call it? Lounge bar.
Yeah.
That's the shit I love.
Sure. Well, yeah, it's like when you go into
There's no singing, but it's
yeah.
like,
So basically you like music that
it's cool.
and I think because obviously being a vocalist, it's what you're going to hyper focus on, right?
100%. You know what? There are there is stuff that I mean, a friend of mine who I did this Bowie celebration, she did 5 shows with us or something like that. And she's so good. She's so good. I almost can't believe it. I'm in awe of her.
What's her name?
She blows me. Her name is Judith Glory Hill.
Okay.
Judith Glory Hill. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Insane. So favorite female singers. Now I got some.
Okay.
Judith Glory Hill. Definitely look her up. She's insane. She's insane. Nika Costa.
Yeah.
Still Nika Costa. She's just
amazing.
And are there any? Those are my 2 main ones that come to mind off the bat right now. But Gabby Moreno. Like you wouldn't necessarily know. She does a lot of Spanish stuff.
Okay.
A lot of I think she's Guatemalan, or she told me, and I can't remember, or is it anyways, but she does a lot of that Mexican folk stuff, and she was also at the Bowie celebration. So that's how I know these gals. But oh my goodness, they're top notch. They're incredibly good. Oh, this will blow your mind. And she's a wicked guitar player. She plays keyboard. She sings. Did you see that film 20 Feet from Stardom?
No. Oh, yes, about the backup singers. Yes.
So she's in that.
She's okay. Okay. Yes.
She was with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's when she's super young. I mean, she's still super young, but super, super young.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you've been a backup singer, like you've been a big backup singer, and when you've been on the back line, like I remember going to one of those Bowie celebrations. I don't think it was one that you were a part of, but it was one of the Bowie. So I think it was Tony Levin had put together one, and Corey Glover
I toured with Corey. Like
so listen, don't get me going about Living Color. How much I love that fucking band. Okay,
Corey's the bomb. I love him.
I remember going to the show, and he was on the back line singing, and I was like, Corey fucking Glover is
But
in the
he comes out and
he
say,
came out, but
yeah, 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 yeah.
just the humbleness to be able to be in the back being a backup singer, and I was like, "This
That's
is
what we did. We would switch.
it
We
was
all
amazing. It was
yeah.
incredible." And oh my God. Okay, I have 5 more minutes with you, but I would be able to talk to you about 45 minutes about Corey Glover. I love Living Color.
I know. He's amazing.
But you know, what I love just by getting to chat with you is that you still have this vigor and this love for life and for music, which is great. It's really, really nice to see. It's nice to see.
You too.
I do. I do. Um, if you were to have to go back and say one thing to yourself, your younger self, you have to say one thing to yourself, what would it be? One bit of advice you'd have to give your younger self.
Does it have to be advice?
Yeah, or anything,
You know
or any, or if you,
exactly what I'd say to my younger self. I said this to on another. I would say, "Fuck off."
perfect, great. I can relate. I totally get that.
And tell the world to fuck off while you're
Yeah,
at it. You know,
right.
I mean, honestly, that really what I needed was to understand that there's actually nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah,
But you
fear's a big crippler.
Yeah, but the level of fear that all of us have
Mhm.
is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
You don't even realize it. It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
completely
I'm,
transparent. You can't see it. It's like a fish in water.
well, you know, just to share. I mean, I might not put this in, but I've been in recovery for 30 years. I'm sober 30 years. I got sober when I was
Good
21.
for
So
you.
this
Yeah,
July, you know, God willing,
that's a long time. Good for
I'll
you.
be
That's as old as a goddamn record.
right.
That's
But one thing was taught in my 12-step group was like, we suffer from 100 forms of fear. And that's one of my problems when I was young was I was fearless. I got me in a lot of trouble. And now I have one healthy fear, and that's to go out and drink again. Everything else, I know that what fear is like, it's like the boogeyman. It's there, it's looming, it goes boo, and you're like, that's all you were? Get out of the fuck. Exactly. What fuck off. What you would tell your younger self. So um
your
I
words, kid.
right, exact 2 words that are very popular and very powerful. Fuck off.
I
Uh,
think you should leave that in your podcast. I
I
think
will.
that's
I will leave it in.
important.
But I got to tell you, as a longtime fan, I am so happy I got to finally chat with you. And continued success, please, and just keep making music and keep being you. Because, like I said when we started, you've got a great reputation. People love you and know that. And after this conversation
Woo!
with you, I can tell you I know why, because you're great.
Well, I love people too. It's
100%.
reciprocal.
Yes. Thank you for taking the time to chat, and hopefully we'll get to meet in the future, and continued success and all the best. Okay.
Woo! Thank you, Jason.
You know, it's nice when you talk about these rock legends. It's really nice when they're not bitter. And it's also really nice when they don't seem like former shadows of their former selves. It
Yeah.
just seems like she's, from what I've heard and the people she's grown up with, I don't know, she seems to be the exact same person. She's always been the same person. And that's nice. Because sometimes, even these days, you get a little bit of Instagram fame and your head gets huge. It's like, yeah, I have 7 million followers. I'm like, yeah, but does anybody love you?
I hear you on that. I hear you on
Yeah.
that. Yeah, she's an OG, man, and she's just really got a great energy about her, and I'm really glad I got to chat with her, and I got to connect with her because, again, like I mentioned in the chat, you know, I grew up listening to Showman Montreal, and Sass Jordan was like a staple on the playlist, and to be able to finally talk to her after all these years of listening to her and being a fan, it was really cool. So, thank you to Sass Jordan for joining us on the podcast. So, want to let you know that we really appreciate you, all of you, for being here with us this week. Please make sure you let us know who you want us to talk to, and you can do that by leaving a comment below in the comment section if you're on YouTube. And if you are somebody that is watching us, if you're listening to us on an audio podcast, you can always find us on Instagram at the Rockman Power Hour and on Facebook, and we'll answer DMs as well. It's funny, I got a comment a few weeks back. Someone said, we'd love for you to talk to Peanut from 311 and Whitfield Crane from Ugly Kid Joe. And I was like, okay, well, Peanut, we can probably reach out to because we had him on part of Kings of Quarantine. And then Whitfield Crane, well, a buddy of mine played in Ugly Kid Joe. So those are very doable. So, you know, don't be surprised if you see those guests in the next little while. But the only reason that'll happen is because you guys suggested it. So let us know who you'd like us to chat with in the comments. We're very, very open to suggestions. We actually welcome it because it really kind of makes us say, oh, that's what people want to, that's who people want us to talk to. And we can't think of everybody, right?
The amount of patches you have on the Rockman utility belt of Super Friends surprises the shit out of me because they either know you from Slaves on Dope, they either know you from radio, they either know you from somewhere else. You're or Comic Con. You're in a lot of different worlds, and they all seem to collide with each other in good ways sometimes.
Well, we can bring them all here, which is great, and it serves everyone at this point. So yes, so make sure if you are enjoying the podcast, please uh, like, share, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff, and let us know what you want to hear and how you're enjoying it because we really, really appreciate getting feedback. A big thanks to my co-host Ryan Stick. A big thanks to our producer Julia Kajerski. Thanks to Heartbeat Hot Sauce, the heartbeat of the Rockman Power Hour. And if you use our promo code Rockman20 right below, that will give you 20% off your entire order, and that does not expire ever. Also, thanks to Studio House Designs as well. Thanks to AKG for providing us with this great equipment so we can sound as good as we can, and these headphones so we can hear ourselves talking. And thanks to all of you, and to Ryan, to his interpretive dance today, which is just amazing. So a big thanks to you for tuning in this week. And until next week, we'll see you on the Rockman Power Hour.